Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here. We are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Friday, November 25th slate of NBA action, man. I'm super excited to dive into it. Not only did we have a fantastic slate of the NBA on Wednesday, we also have a really great slate as of today. So once again, hope you guys did all enjoy your Thanksgiving, but now it's back. It's time to grind. It's time to get back in the mode to win some money here in the NBA. Hopefully you guys did have a really good day betting as of the NFL season 2. But either way, now it's time to lock back into the NBA slate. So without any further ado, I did just want to go ahead and say that we are still currently on the road to 9,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me. So much more than you guys will ever know. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into a quick recap as of Wednesday, because we obviously didn't have anything for Thanksgiving. But for Wednesday, we ended up going 2-2 on our plays. I will be honest, I didn't watch any of the games just because I did have a second Thanksgiving to be going to. But overall, I did go back and actually watch like footage of the games and stuff like that. So we did end up having our two wins of the day. We had Anthony Simons under 24.5 versus the Cavs. He started off really cold in this game. He picked it up a ton in the second half. So he definitely was trying to hit this over. And he had almost every opportunity to do it, but he finishes right with 20 points. Can't argue with that for sure. And then we did have the Hawks -6 here versus Sacramento. They were able to get it done here for us. They had a very good spot just overall. I knew that the Sacramento Kings, that's just a really tough atmosphere. I mean, they're coming off of a pretty big win. They got to travel all the way over to Atlanta, take on the pretty good Hawks team at home. Just a really tough spot. So I rode with the favorite in that one and it ended up working out. Then we had our two losses. We had our kill shot play of the day. We had Anthony Edwards over 23.5 versus Indiana. This one, he really just didn't see the shot attempts. He only saw about 14 shot attempts in that game. And he still finished pretty close to it. He finished with 19. So it was close. It's not like it was, a terrible play at all. Then we had Patrick Williams under 14.5 PRAs versus Milwaukee. This one was kind of a weird one. He did get into foul trouble early. He finished with like 4 fouls in the first half, but he was able to, basically just, play clean for the rest of the game. And those 14.5 PRAs just kind of fell into his hand. He finished with 17, so nothing you can really do about that. But either way, 2-2 on the day, losing just a little bit of juice overall. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's plays. So, for our kill shot play of the day, we're taking the guy, Jason Tatum, over 28.5 points here versus the Kings at -120 odds. Now, he did end up going under in 4 straight games, other than the last game here versus the Mavs, where he did end up having 37. Now, this was a pretty great game for Jason Tatum, and I think it is going to really pick up basically where he left off at the beginning of the season. In the last 7 games, the Kings do allow the 6th most points per game to opposing small forwards. This Kings team, they're definitely not a great defensive team overall. So, just in general, we'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Sacramento, they do allow the 5th most points per game to opposing teams in general. They also play at the 8th fastest pace. So this is a recipe for an over. You're talking about a team that plays at a fast pace and doesn't play very good defense. Sign me up for their best player to hit their over. Also, Jason Tatum at home, he's the king. He's literally the king of at home. He's averaging 31.9 points per game at home and has hit this over in 6 of his 8 home games this year. Jason Tatum is that guy at home, and I don't expect that to change. The Kings are not a great defense. They play at a fast pace. I expect a lot to be going down in this game, so that is going to be our first play of the day, our kill shot play of the day. Jason Tatum over 28.5 points here versus the Kings at -120. JT, go ahead and get it done here for us. Now, for our second play of the day, we're going to be taking RJ Barrett under 20.5 points here versus Portland at -125 odds. Now, he is coming off of a pretty big scoring night versus Oklahoma City, where he did end up having 25, but before that, he ended up going under in 5 straight games. I think that this number is still a little bit inflated. RJ Barrett started off the year really good. There's no denying that. He started off the year really good, but I think that lately, like I said, he's gone under in 5 straight. He just hasn't really been the same RJ Barrett at the beginning of the year. Portland also has been a pretty solid defense when it comes to the small forward position. They do allow the 8th fewest points per game to opposing small forwards. He's going to have a guy like Josh Hart more than likely on him, or if not, I could see touches of Jeremy Grant on him as well. So I think it's a pretty good spot to be taking it under. Also, Portland is one of the slowest paced teams in the entire NBA at 29th. So they are literally second slowest pace in the entire NBA. This is going to be a huge slowdown spot for a New York Knicks team that loves to run up and down. They're not going to be seeing that same style of play. Also, Portland does allow the 7th fewest points per game to opposing teams in general. They've been a pretty solid defense over the course of the season. And with that slow pace, that definitely helps with it as well. Portland also allows the fewest points per game to opposing teams on the road in the entire NBA. So on the road, they're the best defense in basketball. Sign me up for that. RJ Barrett under 20.5 points here versus Portland at minus 125 odds. Now for our third play of the day, we are going to be taking the guy that won us some money last time, Lauri Markkanen over 20.5 points here versus Golden State at minus 115. Now, we all know Golden State hasn't really been the same defense that they have been known to be over the last couple of years. They have not been a very good defense, and we'll go ahead and talk about it. But before we do, Lauri Markkanen, he is coming off of a very tough shooting night here versus Detroit, where he shot just 4 for 13 from the field. I don't think that happens once again, because before that, he ended up covering in 3 straight, and I think he does end up covering once again, making that 4 out of his last 5. Golden State allows the 4th most points per game to opposing teams, just in general, and the 5th most points per game to opposing small forwards in the last 7 games. That speaks a lot of volume to me. They give up a lot of points to that small forward position, and they give up a lot of points to opposing teams in general. I think it's really good. Also, in the last 3 games, Golden State Warriors are 25th in defensive efficiency. That is very, very bad, and I think that a guy like Lauri Markkanen can definitely take advantage of something like that. Also, this is a huge pace-up spot here for Utah. Utah is paced at 11th. Golden State is 2nd. So you're going to see a lot more extra possessions for a team like the Utah Jazz. So I think it's a pretty good spot. The over-under is set to 237.5. Pretty high over-under and a +7 spread here for the Jazz. If the Jazz are going to be covering that, as I have often mentioned on this channel, if the Jazz are going to cover that, Lauri Markkanen is going to have to do his thing. So that is going to be our third play of the day. Lauri Markkanen over 20.5 points here versus Golden State at minus 115. Now for our fourth and final play of the day, this is a shot in the dark, but I really do like it. We're going to be taking the Pacers +3 here versus Brooklyn at minus 110 odds. This line just does not make sense. The Brooklyn Nets have been playing good basketball. They got Kyrie Irving back, and they're only 3-point favorites over the Pacers. Something is just not right here. I feel like we may get some injury news throughout the day, or there might be something that, or maybe the Pacers are just going to, show up and be ready to play. But regardless, it just does not make sense because the Brooklyn Nets are pretty much 100% right now, and the Pacers are just not nearly as good of a team. Why are they only getting 3 points? So I'm going to be taking the points here with them. Also, it's a pretty crazy stat. I know that Kyrie Irving is a fantastic basketball player. There's no doubting that whatsoever. But with Kyrie Irving in the lineup this year, they are 3-8 against the spread. I'm just reading the stats, okay? I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to say anything, but they're only 3-8 against the spread with Kyrie Irving in the lineup. So take with that what you will, but I think that it's a pretty good spot. Also, as a road favorite, Brooklyn is just 2-2 against the spread, and Indiana as a home underdog this year, they're 3-2 against the spread, covering 60% of the time, and they're 6-4 against the spread at home this year, so covering once again 60% of the time. So I think that they can get it done here versus Brooklyn. I think it's a really good matchup overall, and I think that the Pacers can actually go ahead and win outright. So I think it's a pretty good spot to target for our fourth and final play of the day. Pacers +3 here versus Brooklyn at minus 110 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we're on the road to 9,000, so make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Center signing out. Peace.